So we're going to build a 8x4 RAM from 4 smaller 4x2 RAM chips. And the first thing that I want to start off doing is think about this from a conceptual level. So if we have a 4x2 RAM chip, each of the rows here corresponds to one address, and they have the following binary encodings. And then each data row is going to have a separate bit. So this is like the D3 bit, this is the data 2, data 1, and data 0. So if I access, for example, address 4, and I look at data bit 3, I'm going to be getting the letter Q. So what I'm going to be doing to build this 8x4 RAM from these 4x2 RAM chips is I'm going to need to map each of these guys into smaller blocks. And so what I can do is I can build this 8x4 out of 4x4 4x2s if I chunk the RAM in some shape like this. So I want to make sure that my orientations match. And so what I could do is I could have A, B, E, F, that's an I, J, and N into this block, C, D, G, H, K, L, O, P, Q, R, U, V, Y, Z, C, C, D, D, S, T, W, X, A, B, B, E, E, F, F. So I can chop all of this up into these different locations. Now when I think about if I access the addresses of any one of these RAM chips, what I have is address 0001, 1011, address 00011011, and so on and so forth. So you can see that there's the same pattern in every single one of these. So what I'm going to need to do is that these 2 bits match these 2 bits. And so I know that to access the correct address on each of these, I'm going to need to use address bits like 1 down to 0 to access the right address in each of these locations. And same thing here, those match as well. So these are going to be address bits 1 down to 0, address bits 1 down to 0, and address bits 1 down to 0. And now I still have this address bit 2, and I'm going to use that to select whether I use the top row or the bottom row. And so that's going to be what I use for address bit 2. It's going to choose between those 2 sets of RAM chips. And then I also know that these guys are all going to be data bits 3, data bit 2, data bit 3, data bit 2. And then this is data bit 1 and data bit 0. And then data bit 1, data bit 0. So that's the orientation arrangement that I want to use. So I can build a 4x2 out of these an 8x4 out of these 4x2s by simply allocating these bits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my address bits here, and I'm going to first, let's take care of this address bit 2. So I want this to be able to select between the top or the bottom. And so this is when address bit 2 is 0, this is when address bit 2 is 1. And the way I can do that rather easily is by doing a decoder with enable. So I'm going to send just address bit 2 into a decoder, so it's got a 0, and that's going to have a 0, 1, and then I'm going to change my chip select into an enable bit. And so if chip select is 0, it'll shut off everything. If chip select is 1, it's going to activate this top row. If chip select is 0, it's 0, it's going to activate the top row. If it's 1, it's going to activate the bottom row. And now, what I could do is, as we saw earlier, I'm going to use address bits 1 down to 0 to select the addresses in my 4x2. So what I can do here is set A1 down to 0 into my address bits, A1 down to 0 into my address bits, A1 down to 0 into my address bits, and A1 down to 0 into my address bits. And then I can orient these in the same way as before, so I can split. I'm going to do 3 and 2, into this guy, and 1 and 0 into this guy. And we can see that again here. I've got 3, 2, 1, 0 for my data. So I'm going to split in to have 2 bits. Oh, I should scratch all these. So this has got 2 bits on that wire, 2 bits on that wire. And this is going to be in 3 down to 2. And then this is going to be in 1 down to 0. And then this is going to split off and continue to go here. So it's the same 2 bits. Oops, sorry. And then these guys are also going to go down and connect. That's the same 2 bits there. Now we just need to connect up our outs, and so depending on whether we use tri-state buffers or multiplexers, we'll need to combine these somehow. I'm going to assume we use tri-state buffers so we can just hook up these wires directly. And so we will take this guy out, these 2 bits, take this guy out, he's also 2 bits, and we're going to combine those to be out, 3 down to 2, and then do the same with these guys. Just swing this guy around here. So these 2 bits, these 2 bits, and this guy is out, 1 down to 0. And that's how you build your bread chips.